Hello guys. In this video, I am going to discuss Kerberos, the network authentication protocol. The name is taken from Greek mythology. Kerberos was a three-headed dog, who guarded the gates of Hades. Kerberos is used between networking systems. The internet is an insecure place. Many of the protocols used on the internet do not provide any security. Tools to snip passwords off of the network are in common use by malicious hackers. Thus, applications which send an unencrypted password over the network are extremely vulnerable. Worse yet, other client-server applications rely on the client program to be honest about the identity of the user who is using it. Other applications rely on the client to restrict its activities to those which it is allowed to do, with no other enforcement by the server. Kerberos is primarily a UDP protocol, although it falls back to TCP for large Kerberos tickets. This may require special configuration on firewalls to allow the UDP response from the Kerberos server, KDC. Kerberos clients need to send UDP and TCP packets on port 88 and receive replies from the Kerberos servers. It uses symmetric key cryptography to authenticate users to network services, which means passwords are never actually sent over the network. The Kerberos protocol uses strong cryptography so that a client can prove its identity to a server, and vice versa, across an insecure network connection. After a client and server have used Kerberos to prove their identity, they can also encrypt all of their communications to assure privacy and data integrity as they go about their business. The three heads of Kerberos comprise the key distribution center, the client user and the server with the desired service to access. The Kerberos Key Distribution Center is a network service that supplies session tickets and temporary session keys to users and computers within an Active Directory domain. The KDC runs on each domain controller as part of Active Directory domain services. The KDC is installed as part of the domain controller and performs two service functions: the authentication service and the ticket granting service. The client requests for a TGT from the authentication server. A ticket granting ticket is a small data set used in Kerberos authentication, which was developed at MIT for authenticating server traffic. In IT security, a ticket is a number generated by a network server for a client, which can be delivered to itself, or a different server as a means of authentication or proof of authorization, and cannot easily be forged. This usage of the word originated with MIT's Kerberos protocol in the 1980s. The user presents the ticket granting ticket to the ticket granting service portion of the key distribution center when desiring access to a server service. The TGS on the KDC authenticates the user's TGT and creates a ticket and session key for both the client and the remote server. This information, known as the service ticket, is then cached locally on the client machine. The TGS receives the client's TGT and reads it using its own key. If the TGS approves of the client's request, a service ticket is generated for both the client and the target server. The client reads its portion using the TGS session key retrieved earlier from the AS reply. The client presents the server portion of the TGS reply to the target server in the client-server exchange coming next. Kerberos ticket exchange occurs for security. User logins to gain network access to the network services after authentication and authorization. Let's understand with an example. I am Alex, a client. I need to access the network services. So, I need a ticket to get tickets, TGT. For this, I will request TGT from the authentication server. The authentication server will offer a TGT. Using that TGT, I will request for a service ticket from the authorization server. The authorization server will offer service ticket, After proper verification using the password, using the service ticket, the request will go to the server to authenticate me. Once the authentication will be successful, the client-server session will be established. Now, the client will be able to access the network services successfully. That's all for now. Stay tuned with us. Thanks for watching.